Hi, this is Cindy from Part-Time Permies, and today I'll just give you a little update on the garden and how we're doing here. So, give you a little tour. These are all radishes. They're coming up great. And we have our pea plants behind them, snap peas. Someone must have just laid an egg. But over here we have more radishes, and then down there. And it is kind of interesting that these two beds over here have not been doing as well as this one, which is doing great. But I realized last year we did have some beans around the edge here, so which did not expand down that direction too far. So there may be correlation with just how the soil is doing. There are some little ones coming up, but really these, and they seem to be half eaten too. Not much coming up over here, but I don't need over amount of radishes. So the radishes are doing all right. There's also carrots planted on either side of the radishes, but again, they take a long time to germinate, so they're not up yet. Over here, I kept going with roots. So a week ago, I put seeds for beets over here, and I believe there are some just starting to come up, so that's good. We did, I forget which order it was in, but we did a section of rutabaga and a section of turnips. I believe it's rutabaga here and turnips there, but don't quote me on that. Don't think they're coming up yet, unless that's something there. We have some volunteer potatoes that are from last year. I think 3 plants here, 3 or 4. Three Sisters, we do have some corn that are starting to come up. And on this side are the summer squash, zucchini on this end, and yellow squash at that end. On this side we have our Hubbards, which I might actually just put a few more seeds, because whatever seed I put here, that was a mystery seed from one of our squash plants last year. Obviously didn't germinate. So, and we have probably half the germination rate on the Hubbards, because I think there were some more in the corner that I don't see. These were bought. So I bought some cantaloupe and some honeydew, so those are in this area, and some watermelon over there. Otherwise, this is a combination of corn, which you can see some coming up, not as much as on the other bed, and sunflowers, which I'm not seeing, and some sunflowers, just not so many. This bed over here, the third Three Sisters bed, those are all pie pumpkins from seed, and they're doing great. There's some little seedlings otherwise that are just starting. There's one over there starting to come up a little bit. So getting just the beginnings of the sunflowers. They're taking a little bit longer, so it'll probably be a couple weeks before I can put the beans in these plots. Hugelkultur bed. I put some cucumbers at this end, some seeds in here, and then I don't see them starting yet. We have some lemon thyme, which looks like it's starting to bolt. Might give some to the chickens. These eggplants, the lemon thyme, the thyme, those are all bought from the nursery. I planted an oregano in here, which looks like it died off, except for that little bit right there. So I'm not sure, it might bounce back. That, I think, is just lettuce seed from that I put in last winter. Nothing much came up with the lettuce seeds. The potatoes, the ones on top are getting pretty big. Mustard greens were spread through this entire area, but they're doing better at the bottom than they are at the top. So good note for next year. Over here I had some Asian greens, which is apparently growing next to a potato. Another one over here. And some pak choi, which is still so tiny, I'm not sure if they'll do anything. These kale were out of the basement, The ones lower down looks like they've basically been eaten. The ones on the upper end still looking like they're being eaten, but they're doing better. And then we put the lavender in. The garlic scapes are ready to harvest. And there was a discussion on Instagram about garlic scapes. We should probably harvest those in the next day or two. About how to use these. I don't cook, but asking my husband, you basically use it just like garlic or onions. You can saute it with whatever you're making. I've had it stir-fried, like with some beans and stuff. You cut them about the same length. It's basically treated like garlic. So those are definitely ready to be cut. The scapes. Again, we have more lavender. We have tarragon. So the hugelkultur bed is doing pretty well. Now, along the edges around here, almost the entire perimeter of the garden, I put some flower seeds and various herb seeds kind of in sections. Don't remember what's in what section. There's something coming up here. So I think we had some borage over here, so I'm not sure if that's what that is. But yeah, so a few seedlings just emerging, but those were seeded about a week ago. Over here, last night, I put in some seedlings for some Brussels sprouts at this end and some green cabbage at that end. I'll put in some beets over here, I think, too, because they grow well. Maybe some onions. I don't have many onions in here, but you ask my husband, I hate raw onions. I always forget to put those in the ground, and it's in the middle of the summer now, so I probably wouldn't do as well at this point, but we'll try a few seeds. I did put some seeds along that end for the Brussels sprouts and right in here for the green cabbage. So there are some seeds in here as well. We're a little late start. However, they germinate at a higher temperature, like over 75. So actually these are a great time to put the seeds in for if you want to do direct seed for any of the brassica plants, because they need the higher temperature for germination. And then they are pretty darn cold hardy, so we could actually hoop this in the fall when it gets too cold and keep things growing into the winter. Done that in New York, and we're harvesting Brussels sprouts in like January and February, which is kind of cool. This end, I put some kohlrabi seedlings in, but they got burnt out, so I went ahead and added just some seeds to this area. So over here, we have some cauliflower seedlings and broccoli seedlings. And again, I'm not exactly sure how they'll do with the heat of the day. So we'll do some direct seeds in the back as well. So that's half planted. Over here, we have some Asian greens that are just starting to come out. And some pak choi, as well as some Swiss chard, which I think is right here, but I don't see too many of them up yet. And at the other end of this bed, we have some red romaine, some bib, and green romaine in here. And these, they're just teeny tiny, just starting to poke through. So I left the middle blank because we'll just do, in a couple weeks, we'll start another set of seeds, and then we'll do a third round. So we have a continuous flow of greens. This bed we might use for late planting. It's empty right now. Over here, we have some lemon balm, some peppers. This is where I put some of those tomatoes I bought last week, and some tomatillos. So another salsa bed, basically. These are mainly hot peppers in here too, for that matter. Hot wax and cayenne. So lots of peppers. Actually, the two pepper beds, or I should say the two salsa beds, are doing a lot better. They're doing a lot better because we've had about 2.5 inches of rain in a half a week, which we'd gone 3 weeks without. That was crazy. The last bed over here has, at this end, again, the leftover peppers. I just went ahead and put the pepper seedlings. They are the weaker ones. I'm not exactly sure if they'll do much. So we have some chili peppers and some hot wax peppers. At this end, we have our eggplant seedlings, which are hanging in there. They've been in here for about a week. So we have mainly Italian eggplants. We have, I think, 1 or 2 Asian eggplants. So they're over here. And we have one Seed Savers honey pepper from New York. And I'm not sure if that'll do much because the others all died in the tray. So we'll see if it does anything. And again, around the edges we have flowers and herbs that should start from seed at some point here. Getting going, that's the main garden. The raised bed garden, we have a bunch. The strawberries are doing well. Those are wild strawberries. I've been picking out the ripe ones, and they're not really making it to the fridge. They get eaten on their way, but they're starting to send out their tendrils to other areas. We have some volunteers otherwise, but we do need to get some actual plants in some of these other beds. But the strawberries are right here. They're doing well. So that's the update on the garden. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please like, subscribe, comment below, and I'll see you tomorrow.